Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your man Hameen Flex Diggins, and beside me is
Mr. Daryl, Mr. Epic Booker. How you doing with that? How you doing with that?
And this is the Hug Up Podcast. You know, the Healing Unique Gentlemen's Group Urban Podcast. All right?
It's tight, man.
So, hey, man.
It's tight, man.
That's all right, man.
I like that.
That's right, man. You know, look, you got to hug up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's what that is about.
Yes, sir.
So listen, you know, wanted to definitely make sure that I introduce y'all to another one of the co-hosts, man. Me and this guy go back like 4 flat tires on Cadillac. This is my man, Mr. Daryl Epic Booker.
Yes, sir.
And just by his personality, you will find out shortly what the Epic is all about.
Yes, sir.
This is a good brother here. So,
Appreciate you, man.
we're going to get into a topic today. All right, so we know this is, Men's Mental Health Month, and we know that Father's Day just passed, and because this is the podcast, that's not a podcast,
Right.
what we're going to talk about is real issues. I know this is surrounding around everything from men's mental health, self-love, stress, everything that men go through. We're going to talk about a lot of various topics.
Correct.
So, my question, bro, since we're sitting here, man, we're talking to the people, is how hard is it to be a father? What stresses come with it? And how do you navigate through fatherhood itself?
Wow. How about that?
So, something I want people to think about.
Right. Yeah.
But how do you navigate through that? And what are the good, the bad, the ugly parts of that, the stressful parts of that as being a man? We both got kids. Kids are grown now.
Correct.
But I don't think a lot of people understand the stress and the different things that go on, the pressures of being a father.
I think one of the biggest things I know for me, so I've been married for going on 23 years right now. Me being in a blended family, when I first met my wife, she had 2 kids. She had a boy and a girl. I had 2 boys. The stress, this really wasn't stress. It was more so just trying to come from a different type of atmosphere from where I was dealing with my kid's mother and how she was dealing with her kid's father and everything else, and bringing it to a togetherness. And at first, not saying it was like standoffish and everything. So listen, again, I'm an open-hearted person. You've been knowing me for a long period of time.
Right.
I think the biggest thing was I know for a fact, coming into this and everything else, on her side, the father presence wasn't really there.
Okay.
As far as for kids wise. So me coming in, with what I've known as far as my father, you've been knowing my father, everybody, you've been knowing my family since, like I said again, ever since elementary school. So he knows everybody. He knows everybody. So just bringing up with the whole things of morals and values and stuff like that, I never came to the point where it was like a challenge for me. It was points where, if I'm in love with your mother, I'm in love with y'all. We want to keep it like that, And I know it was a hard thing at task because I never want them to think that, well, okay, he's another man coming into our life. He ain't my dad. I don't want that. But it was more to the point where, hey, listen, we had a conversation, we talked and everything else, and I love him. Just to sit there and everything else and just to connect. Okay. And then to have my kids come along with them and everything else and connect, it was a beautiful thing. It wasn't a fight, it wasn't a hustle or hassle or anything else like that. It was love, Okay. I think now more so, since like I said, everybody's older now, because between our 2 kids, and then we had 3 other girls.
Right.
Like, it's a big family now. So, we're here.
Brady Bunch thing.
Brady Bunch, right. And knowing that now and everything else, I made it my best effort as far as me being a father, just to let them know that I'm always going to be here, man. Like I said, even with now, with my 2 kids, and I really don't like talk about it like that, but their father really isn't there in their life and everything else. But it's okay. But I always told them I'm always going to be here for them. It's a struggle a little bit because they want that.
Right.
They want that from their dad. They want to I want that. Like, well, how this, how that, and everything else. And it's not like it was a fight.
Right.
It's a simple fact of sheesh, this guy's coming out of nowhere. Just trying to, just to bring a sense of love and support and care, and the family and everything else. And I never came to the point where I was just trying to throw blows and everything. So
right.
I just want to love them like the kid's supposed to be loved. It's a fight sometimes.
Got it.
Even and I don't really explain much as far as even with my I'll never call my stepkids, but even with my stepson, because me and him we try to have a good relationship. But
okay.
I think the biggest issue, and I mean, I don't know if you've ever been through this and everything else, the biggest issue is trying to figure out who you are as, because he's about, in his 30s right now.
Okay.
So he's trying to figure out who he is because, again, he's trying to mold himself as being, okay, am I going to be myself or am I going to be my dad?
Yeah.
And I try to encourage him, like, no, you don't never have to be that way.
Right.
You can be your own person, your own stepping stone and everything else. You know what I'm saying? I try to show you exactly what it is to have morals and values and love and support and everything else. But no, and I explained this to my oldest son. I said, if you have some type of grudge or something like that towards your parent, that's still your parent.
Oh yeah.
So, whatever at the end of the day, and I said again, for me, like I said, growing up in the Christian household, it's always honor a mother, not father, regardless of whatever, however.
Right.
I've always implanted that in my kids. So as much as you want to be mad or holler and everything else, at the end of the day, guess what? This is who that person is. That gave you life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They gave you this like somewhat of stability and everything else. But at the end of the day, I'm always going to be there for you. Right. But I think it's just just trying to bring that common balance, right, as far as being a father and stuff like that. And it's hard because even dealing with with their friends and stuff,
right,
and they always Mr. Booker, can I talk to you for a minute? I love the interaction. Okay. So, just to have that, to know that I'm trying to do something right and everything, it's a blessing to me. So, right. I mean, it's not bad, but,
But, it sounds like it has its downfalls.
Yeah.
I know, having 5 boys, right, we've been married about the same amount of years.
Right.
That one of the most difficult things with being a father for me is not having my father in my life. I felt like I had no manual on how to be a father.
Right.
So, having to wing that, and, having 5 boys, it wasn't easy.
Yeah, I want to ask you, like, how not saying, I hate that we use the word cope with it.
Right.
How do you, as far as you, I've known you for a while and everything else, and for people that you're around, men figures, male figures and everything else, how is that balance as far as for you just dealing with your sons and everything?
I think that growing up, knowing what I was missing,
okay,
made me know what I needed to give them.
Okay.
So, if your sneakers are missing shoestrings, then when you can afford to buy the shoestrings, you're going to go out and get the shoestrings. Correct. You're going to put them in a shoe. You're going to get a brand new walk.
Right.
That's what it was for me.
Okay.
I knew that there was a piece to the puzzle missing with me.
Okay.
So I knew I had to give that to them.
Okay.
It wasn't easy.
No.
But I was able to pull it off. You know, we grew up on great TV shows, Cosby, and you know, Family Matters, different things.
Right.
So I got to see a lot of positive father figures.
Okay.
There were people outside, coaches, you know, seeing your relationship with your father.
Okay.
You know, and the wisdom that was bestowed upon you. You know, so there were things that I was able to pull from different areas in order to make me the father that I wanted to be.
Okay.
You know, so it had its stressful points,
Of course.
you know, but I knew that I gotta give them what I was missing. So I know they needed love,
Correct.
they needed protection.
Correct.
I know they needed that. Now, don't get me wrong, I never faulted my father because, like I said, I don't know his actual story
Right.
on why. You know, and there's a why to everything.
Right.
You know, but, you know, I didn't let that hold me back. It didn't become an excuse. It actually became my motivation.
I was going to ask you, what made you, I guess, knowing where you came from,
Mm-hmm.
the strength of that, I guess, what made you just want to persevere and just push on as far as, because I know some people would just be like, well, if my dad was like this, I guess I'm going to be the same way, you know. I think that's where in our society today, some of our kids are like that right now.
Right.
And I don't want people putting it out there like that.
Oh, yeah, but, I mean, it's facts, it's
Right.
the truth, and we're here to tell the truth.
Right.
At the end of the day, the greatest thing that my father ever taught me was how not to be like him.
Okay.
You know, I know that sounds kind of cold to certain
No,
people, but that's one of the things that he taught me. So for me, it became, I wanted to be better. I didn't want to make the same mistakes. I took the lessons from that. Me and my dad played the opposite game.
Okay.
A lot of people don't even know what that is. So the opposite game is exactly what I said earlier. He taught me how not to be like him.
Okay.
If he wasn't a good father, I had to become a good father.
Right.
That was my way of coping with not having him around.
Okay.
You know, even though, like I said, I heard from people and family, he's a great man.
Yeah.
You know, but being a great man sometimes doesn't always make you a great father.
Exactly.
But I wanted to not be a statistic. I wanted to defy the odds. I wanted to be the father that was there, and despite what I did not see, what I did not have, I ended up with a great marriage. I ended up with
yes.
awesome kids.
Yeah.
You know, and 5 boys. I'm trying to tell you, that's not easy. But teaching them how to be a man, I think that I figured that out a little bit. But it's ups and downs with anything because, as you know, when kids get older, they have their own version of how they were raised.
Exactly.
You know, and for us as fathers, it becomes, I didn't know you felt like that, or I don't remember that.
Yeah.
You know, it's the stress part that comes with that.
Right.
And it's not easy being the husband, the protector.
Protector.
You know, the father.
Father,
You have to be.
exactly.
You have to be everything.
Right.
You know, you have to be the hero that is beyond the television and the movies.
Right.
You have to be that to them. You know, if they stub their toe, if they fall, if there's something else going on, having the power to show up for them, to be there, it just gets a little bit harder as they get older. It's almost like, I'm a man now, I no longer need you.
Right.
You know?
And it's the funniest thing you said it because I was just in Boston this past weekend.
Okay.
My son, shout out to Corey. How you doing, son? He's up in Boston now. And the funniest thing was, I told him this a while ago. About 3 years ago, my son graduated from Millersville University, not Millersville, Westchester University.
Okay.
And he said to me, Pop, he said, I want to live with you, I want to be around you, but I need my own space. Okay, that's fine. Like, you know, what do you want to do? But at first, you know what I think the biggest problem is too? Trying to let go.
Yeah, there you go.
Trying to let go. Trying to let go. And for me, and everybody knows, I'm so like tight-knit with my kids. Because I know how society is.
Yeah.
I know what society is, especially with growing with little girls.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I got 4 little girls, man. And I can't call them no more because, like I said again, people are like, hey, I don't know no more. They're adults. I'm like, well, they're my babies, right? You know what I'm saying? Right, you know? My oldest daughter is she will turn 29 this year.
Wow, that's grown.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? Then I got my 23-year-old, and I got my 21-year-old, then I got my 19. You know, and then now, like I said, I got my granddaughters. But she's my daughter now. We adopted her. She's 14 years old.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard because how society is, man. And I try to put as much in them. And I'm not saying that all kids, they're not bad, nothing like that. It's just you gotta be aware of your surroundings as far as dealing with these boys today. Yeah. Because a lot of some of these boys are just quick at the tongue. You know what I'm saying? Quick to rave, I got this in the third, and just be able to say, okay, not to be someone like getting your pants and everything else. And I try to teach them, but now that they understand and realize, like, when I had talks with them, a lot of them say, and it's wild, they're like, well, Dad, I don't want nobody if they don't have their father in their life. And like I say, even back to my son, my son's the same way. Like when I went to Boston this past weekend with him, it just felt really good to see what I've done. But not only just me, but people like you, people my that whole village that we talk about at the time. Men, women, whatever like that instilled these different types of characters, morals, and values in this kid that, he's up there right now. He's doing big things and he's listening. Like Pop, he told me one time, he's like, I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, I said, me, like you said, spiritual God is the grace of God. But not only that, it's your backing. Oh, definitely. It's definitely the backing. So that's why I'm asking you, like, with your backing. I mean, I know not having your dad and everything else. I mean, it's that push. It's the simple fact of, like, for you. As being a man of who you are, and your stature and everything else, you don't want, I guess this is the whole thing of not failing or not just being in that same type of, how should I say, that mental aspect of how your dad was that the push?
I think that it's all of that. I think that, the scariness of failure. Right. Not wanting to, like I said, I don't know his story, but not wanting to repeat those steps. Okay. Because, that fear of becoming the other person, that fear, and sometimes people not knowingly become the very person that they dislike. Yeah, I see brothers all the time, oh man, my pop wasn't there for me, but then they turn around and they're not there for their kids. Correct. Do you have the right to even complain? So for me, there was a fear of failure, right. Which I was determined that I wouldn't fail. I mean, I played sports and so forth. There was always a determination. I will not go out there and fail. I may trip, I may fall, but I will always be able to get up and continue, and that's how it was, having kids, and even now having grandkids. My biggest fear, and I think you were speaking on it a little bit earlier, is the fact that I have granddaughters, right? And I think I'm probably more scared now having 2 granddaughters than I was having my 5 boys, because society has changed. But now I feel as though I'm back in superhero mode. I gotta protect them. As you should, right? Because as you should, right? Shout out to my granddaughter from college in Germany. There you go. But I feel as though now it's like I gotta survive for them. Like I gotta make sure that they understand life. Okay. And the same way I protected my sons, I now have to protect my granddaughters because I've never had girls before. It was just my 5 boys.
Yeah.
Now this is a whole nother level of sassiness.
Bro, you listen.
Whatever.
right.
But it's another determination to make sure that I'm there to school them, to be there for them, even along with their father. But you know, grandparents are superheroes. You know how we do.
Right.
You know, you know, they can tell them their parents, and we're gonna listen.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
so
Exactly.
you know, so that becomes a little bit different, man. But the thing is that no matter what, the village that were around me, people telling me that I could do it, I could be a great father.
Yeah.
People that commended me on it over the years, like I see that who you are.
Right.
And as men, just like a woman, you know, that nature is in them to become, you know, protectors when it comes to their kids. Men, it's in us too. To be protective.
Right.
You know what I mean? To sit up there and to make sure that our kids are okay no matter what.
Right.
But allow them to make certain mistakes.
Of course.
You know, but not having my dad made me pull my kids closer.
Yeah.
You know, and love on them that much more and let them know I'm here for you, even though they're grown now. But I tell them I'm coaching from the sidelines.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
You know what I mean? I can't get in the game with you.
Right.
But I can sit on the sideline and I can coach. Hey, son, make this move. Be careful. Watch it. They're coming toward.
Right.
You know, so I coach from the sidelines because there's certain mistakes that I can't teach them.
Right.
They have to make it themselves. So I allow them to, you know, to do that, coach from the sidelines. But the main thing is becoming what I did not have, becoming what I did not see. You know, that's what made me great. You know, the music of my time, which was an outlet, the TV shows of that time.
Yeah.
You know, I grabbed my fatherhood-ness from all different sources. It was there.
Well, that's the funny part.
It was around.
We talk about that a lot and everything else. You know, like back in the day. We can say back in the day.
Back in the day, we say that. Some OG. You know, we've been around.
We've been around for a while, right? So, like back in the day, besides just having that community and you know the TV shows and everything else, it's I guess it was more so the involvement of just the other folks putting stuff in us. You know, I think that's what made both of us strong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, indeed.
You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
And then even now, you can sit on the sideline while you have your son sitting up there saying, Pop, I'm learning this from my dad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's a great feeling to say, hey, Pop, let me conversate with you real quick.
Right.
I want to know how XYZ was, or what is it I need to do to counteract certain things, I think that's probably one of the strongest things that we both have.
Mm-hmm.
That we can actually, like I said, I have three grandkids.
Right.
And I would love to have that conversation, and that's probably one of the things we maybe talk about later on.
Mm-hmm. That
I would love to have with my oldest son.
Right.
But that's another topic. But but I think for us, just knowing how we were raised and how people pushed us to be better people, made us who we are today as men.
Oh yeah, indeed.
And the kids see it. Your son see it. Your granddaughter see it. Your
Mm-hmm.
granddaughter see it. And like, pop out this, pop out that. And it's going to push them to be like, you know what? I know how my grandpa was. I know how my dad was. I know how my mom was and everything else. I know that I have that surrounding. And the community that's around me is going to make me even better. Right. So like I said, shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you, brother, man.
I appreciate you, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
But you're right, man. We got to pull from everywhere. I used to be envious of, not really necessarily envious, but I respected the fact that a good brother that I know, every time he spoke, he would say, like my father always said. And, I used to be like, wow. that were like profound to me.
Right. No, I'm saying.
But to hear my kids do that and say, well, it's like my father told me, you know, and I'm like, wow, I became that person. I may didn't have it, but I became that. And there was another brother, you know, and shout out to Ed for that. That's my man. Washington always kind of quote his father.
There you go.
And shout out to my man Todd, that I would always see this brother tell his kids that he loved them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, and as they got older, he would still, they come to the barbershop, whatever, and he would be like, I love you, son. It don't matter who they was with. I adapted that when my kids were younger. I said, wow. I remember that I needed that.
How about that?
I needed someone to say, I love you, son, which I didn't get, but I need to be that man. So I turned around and I began to do that with my own kids. And even now they're grown, but they know before they get off the phone. I don't care if they're around their girlfriend, they homies, whatever. My thing is, I love you, son.
There you go.
And they're comfortable enough to say it back, because one of the biggest things with men is we don't say it enough. Or we say, I mean, you know I love you, even though I don't say it, man. You know I love you. But I realized that they needed to hear that. But once again, I pulled that from the community, the village around me. I pulled these little things to help me be a better man. And I'm hoping that, you know, what we're saying as we're talking to you, that some of these points will hit with you.
Yeah.
That you will get where we're coming from, and so forth. And then we hope y'all love the topic, man. We hope y'all love the topic. We got plenty more that's coming. Mr. Epic, anything else you want to say?
I think the biggest thing, we need to do right now is to encourage. We don't. I don't know, and I try to explain this to a lot of people that I've dealt with in the past. As I don't know, being you might know, I was a former councilman for Collingville, Pennsylvania. We had a open mic night, you know, called Speak Your Piece. And the biggest thing I challenge a lot of my constituents and people is to encourage the youth, man. When I say encourage the youth, you know, don't be scared to talk to them. Because you'll be surprised sometimes what they might say, and you know what things that you might say to them that might encourage them for the day. I told everybody to go out the next morning and tell these kids, I'm proud of you. Go out and tell these kids, have a great day at school. And it's so funny because one of the constituents says one day was telling me, it was like, oh, these kids are bad. And whoa. When's the last time you told them, have a great day?
Right.
When's the last time you told them, I believe in you?
That's right.
The biggest thing, and any kid can tell you right now, I call him Scholar. I don't call him by their name, I call him Scholar. Scholar, I believe in you. Scholar, I believe. Why are you calling us a scholar? Because you are.
Oh, indeed.
It's an encouragement thing, and that's the one thing that we have to actually keep on flourishing these kids right now, because you have to encourage these kids. And to hear some of these kids' stories, and like I said, later on down the line with me, start talking more about the kids in our community and everything else, and the men in our community, is encouragement. We have to continuously encourage these kids because they are our future. And we don't know exactly how they woke up,
facts.
when they go to school, and how they are, and the army and everything else coming home. You know, I know